Really need to fix that so there's something down at the bottom because it's so bare. Okay, gotta test this volume out. Make sure it's working. Today I'm going to do a catch up on retool, and I thought I would do that every Monday. I'll do my just chatting on Monday. Excuse me if I scratch rub my eyes. My allergies are really, really bad. Hey, Z Sort Chef, how's it going? I make sure that I'm following. Uh, Over the weekend, the retool sent me this. I don't know if you guys can read that too, Ellie. It's a Fitbit Inspire 2, and they ask us to wear this to just kind of see where our problems might be or check our heart rate. And the biggest one for me was the sleep. Um, well, that's good to know. That's about the way it is here. It's going. Um, I look terrible. I know it. I really truly apologize for that, but it's about indicative of how I truly feel. Um, but they asked us, to hook up the Inspire, so I did it, wearing the little lovely thing. Been wearing it since Saturday, which for me um, is really not something that I do. I really don't like to have my things monitored that well, but um, I can kind of show you if I can get this to come up. There it goes. My first night that we did my sleep stuff. Thank you for the lurk. I really appreciate it. Um, it has like this monitoring of sleep stages here. Okay. And thank you so much. And my husband was curious about this. So I said, okay, well, we'll do this. So I got 4 hours and 54 minutes of sleep, if you call it that. Time spent awake was 12% at 42 minutes. My deep sleep was at 9%, 29 minutes. This is where it gets interesting. My REM sleep was 14% for a total of 48 minutes. The other 3 hours and 37 minutes, I was in light sleep. Um, During that time, they said I get my score was fair. It wasn't good. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. Um, Only having so little time of REM and deep sleep is not cool. I've tried to tell him and tried to tell him I don't sleep. I may go to bed, my eyes might be closed, but I can tell you I'm not sleeping. I'm moving, I'm rocking and rolling. So it's something that hopefully we're going to get to work on for this. I really hoping that we do because it's kind of scary when you read your numbers like that. Um, Also, they had us put our calories in there as to what we have and where we are. I'm nowhere near what they want me to eat. Um, just not hungry. I'm not going to force myself to eat when all it does is really make me sick. So that's kind of where we are with the retool program. We are we do have a back doctor appointment in August. And I don't have good thoughts for this at all in any way, shape, or form. Um, I have probably been to 25 to 30 back doctors or PAs for them because they won't let me speak with the back doctor unless I go through this huge list of things that I have been through so many times. I'm not going there anymore. One of those being injections. Oh, Lord. If y'all can live with the injections, go for it. By all means. My last set of injections was a pain doctor. And he was like, oh, but these shots are new. They're different. We actually guide where it goes. The last time I was at his office, this is very difficult to really even talk about because it's like people don't believe you. But he slid the needle in on my left side, lower back. He barely touched to push the injection in, and I about came up off that table. It went all the way through my leg, through my thigh, through my calf, out the end of my foot. And that's exactly how it felt. A hot spear just going right through. And he's like, well, that's because you don't have much room but that's what we want. That's the result we want. And I'm like, so you want the result that is going to cause me even more pain? Hey, Drop Down Fools, how's it going? Thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate it. I don't have it set up on this page, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. Um, it's like, if you've ever had a cortisone shot, yeah, they're not so bad. Cortisones I can handle, but cortisones aren't going to do anything for me. It was the last time I went to see him. Weekend was interesting, but it was a good one considering. Um, it was quite interesting for me. Let me see if I can get this to do this, or if it's too soon. I don't know. It doesn't like me to do it back to back for some reason. I got to fix that. Let's try that again. There we go. Um, it's hard for me to talk about this because, like I said, I've been going through this since 2008. Social Security finally, about 5 years ago, I think, made me permanently disabled, never to be able to go back to work because they asked me to get on my tiptoes, and there was this huge table sitting in front of me. And I just looked at the guy and I said, are you going to move the table before or after I hit it? And he said, never mind, just sit down. And he marked me permanent because I have seen so many doctors and nobody has been able to get this under control except for one back doctor. And unfortunately, he passed away due to COVID. So it's kind of like nobody else will take up the last surgery, which is to fuse. And I have prepared myself for that, but I don't think the doctors really want to do it because everyone I've gone to is like, oh, there's got to be something else going on, something else wrong. And I'm like, do you know how many tests I've been through? Do you know how many MRIs? Do you know how many shots, how many pain pills? I took Dilaudid for 8 years, guys. And when I took myself off of it, it was like eating candy. It didn't do anything. It was like, yeah, it might let me sleep for 30 minutes, but then I was right back up, or I was moving around. I was in pain. It just doesn't work for me anymore. It's like you've got to do something to relieve the pressure because I have sciatica, spinal stenosis, degenerative disc disease, bulging discs. Uh, there's something else they said was back there, and I forget what it was. But all of these things are going on combined, and they're like, you need to exercise. Yeah, okay. Mhm. Let me do that. Doesn't work. I have a recumbent bike. I get on it, and just to lift my leg on the pedal, I have to physically lift it with my hands to put it on the pedal. And then there's the movement. Every movement is like just someone taking a knife and just jabbing me constantly in my hip flexors. So I'm like, no, I can't do that. I have an elliptical. Mm, love my elliptical. Kept me sane for many years. I can't use it anymore. It hurts. Getting up on it, trying to get off of it. It doesn't lock. So my husband's always like, you're going to fall off that thing. I said, one of these days, probably. And yes, it has happened. I have fallen off of it. Um, I don't do that anymore. So it's like I'm really trying to find what will work and what won't work. And when this new doctor, I say new because I've only had him for like 2 years, um, asked me if I wanted to do the retool for weight management, I said yes, because the reason that he put me up is something I could believe in and something I could work with. And that was, okay, not many people come in to these studies with what I have. They are all basically generally, normal, what they call normal people. They don't have someone that has over a dozen autoimmune diseases, someone that has chronic pain, fibromyalgia, osteoarthritis, uh, tendonitis. I have tendonitis in this finger, really bad. Uh, it hurts just to do this to it. It hurts to use it when I game. So now that I game with his finger instead. Um, I can't close my fist because, well, I can close it this way. This finger, yeah, she's not going anywhere. It's like really weird. And I first found out about the tendonitis when I was letting my baby girl out. Nisi. Nisi is our border collie boxer. Yeah, boxer mix. And I went to lift up on the door handle and about came unglued. I was like, oh, that really hurts. What is my finger doing hurting? They're like, yeah, you have tendonitis in that finger, probably from gaming. But gaming is the only thing I have. It keeps me sane. It keeps me going. Um, the community out there, the people that I've met, the people. Period. It's like y'all are amazing, and I know that if there's going to be something out there, rough to go through, I know you guys are going to be there, to support, to talk to, and I don't talk about this much, but I want people to know there are people out there who look perfectly normal, um, who, like, when I go out in public, I do my very best not to show anything, not to talk to people or anything. And the basic reason is because my sarcasm comes out. Most of these people that talk to me know about my issues or have known, and they'll be like, oh, you look so good. And I'm looking at them going, and in what fantasy world do you live in? And sometimes that comes out of my mouth, which is very off putting. But, you know, when I say I'm doing good, it means that I'm doing good considering everything I go through. I mean, it's just the way it is. And I hope through this retool experience, through everything I'm going through, um, it'll be for the next, we've been through it for 3 months now. So for the next 15 months to see if they can organically take the weight off, because I refuse to do bariatric surgery. And the biggest question that most of the doctors ask me is, So you had a weight problem when you were a child? No. Weighed 125 pounds soaking wet till I was 23. Then I weighed 145, and that was after my second child. And the next year was when my thyroid blew out. And the doctor didn't catch it. He kept telling me I wasn't active enough. Now, by him saying not active enough, let me explain. I went dancing every night after work. I played volleyball. I played basketball. I played tennis with Special Olympics as a coach. I did track with them. I was very active. Always moving, always going, always had things to do. I never had a problem with my weight. I never expected to. But within the year of being diagnosed, that whole year that he kept saying, you know, there's something wrong with me. I was eating too much, I wasn't exercising, I wasn't active. He finally says, let's do a thyroid test. Yeah, I had Hashimoto's. I put on over 100 pounds in a year. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. Because of not knowing of the condition that I had, it didn't matter how much I did and how much I worked and how hard. And there's a lot of people out there like that it doesn't matter how hard they're working at it, how much they put into it, because people really don't know what they're going through. And a couple of the biggest questions I get asked is, number one is, it has to do with my voice and my throat. I have a cut right here. This is how sarcastic I get. Being a Gen Xer, somebody will ask me, oh, your throat, somebody, and I said, yeah, I paid someone to cut it. And they just look at me. And I'm like, really? I had thyroid surgery. They had to take it out. It was cancer. They really believed I paid someone to cut me. Some people. Then there's the fact of my voice. My voice is a very odd voice. It was never like this. I used to be able to sing. So if you guys hear me sing online, cover your ears because I sound like a cow with mad cow disease or something worse than that. Because of the amount of scraping they had to do to my vocal cords to make sure that they got all of the cancer. And I luckily did not have to go through any chemo or anything because they do a cancer test on me every year to check for cancer cells. And thank God there have been none. And right now I'm starting to sweat. I go from being extremely hot to being extremely cold. I do take a Semaglutide, Ozempic, and I take an insulin, Glargine, which is Lasix, I believe, is its normal name. I used to take one after every meal. No, before every meal. I'm sorry, 15 minutes before I ate. And my sugar would tank every single time. And I went through this for like 4 years. And I finally decided that the diabetic doctor wasn't doing me any good because I would tell her, you know, I tanked one time so bad that my son had to call the ambulance because I was in my 50s. For those of you that don't know about diabetes or diabetics, we really shouldn't go under 80 because we can start having issues. And those issues being, I could figure out how to call my son, but I couldn't figure out how to call an ambulance. I literally, and he's like, Mom, I need your address. And I'm like, I don't know it. It was very scary because I didn't know my address. I knew who my son was, and I called him. My husband was at work. I couldn't figure out how to call him because even though he has a cell phone, I can't call it because he can't answer it when he's at work or he wouldn't hear it. And I couldn't remember where his work number was. So they came out and they're giving me this, oh, the most horrible tasting stuff. And he's like, we've got to get your sugar up. You've got to get this down. They get one down me and they check my sugar and it barely moved. And they're like, okay, we're going to do another one. By the time I got to the hospital, I was in my 70s. And they raised it to 120 before they would let me go. But that was the scariest time I had with it. And that's when I decided that I needed a different doctor because they weren't listening, that I was tanking. And as you know, either way, or some of you may not know, I'm not going to say everybody knows this, either going low or too high, doesn't matter, can be very dangerous. And you have to be very careful. Either way of the spectrum has a lot of the same symptoms of being low or being high. So this is something we finally have under control by me just taking the Glargine and the Ozempic. Although they did up my Ozempic to 2.0, trying to get it to where I only have to take the Ozempic. So that would be really nice because every time I poke myself with the needle, I can't stand it. Well, one, it hurts. Two, I really don't like needles. I don't care how small they are. And these are small. My mind just left again for a moment. This is one of the things I have is white cell matter disease, which is the beginning of dementia. And that's another reason I play video games, is to keep my mind sharp, to keep things going, to make sure that I'm using my brain. It's different to have it. I can't really explain it. My youngest, he's always joking around, and he does a lot, you know. And he he calls me, you know, forgetful dingy mom, and it's all in fun. It's all, you know, he knows it's in fun, and he knows it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I've had people say some things to me that, you know, you shouldn't say to people, but as I said, I'm a Gen Xer. Bring it. Not gonna hurt my feelings. Uh, and that goes with, you know, the way I play games. That's why I do achievements, and I'm not so much competitive. It's because I know I can't be competitive. My reactions are slower than most people. The way I do things, it's just different. But the few things that keep me going are my gaming, my cooking, and my making quilts for people. That's what keeps me going. And being able to support other streamers helps me because I'm watching what they're doing and I'm trying to gauge, you know, what's going on and trying to keep track of everything that's going on. It is not always easy. But hoping with this retool, some of these things that are going on with me will get figured out, will get worked out, will become less. And that's what I'm hoping for. Um, I haven't. I'm only going to do a retool chat every Monday morning or afternoon, as it may be, since it's 4 o'clock here. Um, just to kind of put everything together, make it a little bit longer of a stream, and then go in, then cut out and go into a game. Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think. Hang on a second. This is why I should write things down because my mind goes, but I don't. I'm really bad about writing things down. I have started getting my son into streaming again, uh, and I love helping with that. Um, I'm glad I'm still able to do overlays and that type of thing because I really thought I had lost that. I can't figure out some programs like I used to, such as Procreate. I would love to figure it out because I got this nice little iPad Pro somewhere around here and can't figure it out. So I think I'll stick with Canva and doing overlays. Um, and of course, supporting the guy who does this fantastic art, Legally Lifted. He has so generously given. That's where my logo comes from. He drew the little llama, and then I made the llama dance. Uh, just, something different. And most of you have seen a lot of his art. Some of you haven't. I do have this little box down here that goes through his art, and I try to keep it up to date. Sometimes I get a little bit behind. Uh, the little doggy outlines are of the Cheweenies, Curly and Bella. They are my babies. And then there's Nisi, who she's dead to the world on the floor right now. I'm currently growing out my hair, so it's like really, really bad, really messy, really horrible. But I do appreciate everyone that is supporting me, is helping me out with all of this. And I will try to do at least a 30-minute every Monday, kind of catch you guys up what we're doing and whatnot. Next week, I'm hoping to share a little bit about the changes in the eating habits that we have done. And my husband is actually doing them with me, which is good. So we'll see how it goes, how it works, and we will go from there. But I do not show my face on stream, and I know that. The main reason is my face is a window to my expressions, and when a pain goes through me, I show it. If I move just wrong, my face will show it, and I don't like to portray that because I am, for the most part, a pretty upbeat person, someone who's got a good outlook on life, who can't wait for her son to get married, her youngest. um, he's only 18 and I'm already pushing. But he's got a great girlfriend right now. But, just to share, what is going on, how it's going on, if it's helping, if it's working, if they're going to try something else, whether or not this back doctor is going to do the final surgery and fuse me, which means I will lose 80% of my mobility, which right now I've lost 100% of it basically because I can't sit, stand, or walk for more than a couple of minutes. Sitting here this long is like starting to get to me. When I'm playing games, I usually, in between things, you'll see my character stand still or something. That's usually because I got up and walked around the chair and sat back down and hoping that the pain is going to alleviate a little bit. And sometimes it can't. There are some nights that I'm just like, hey guys, I can't game anymore. I got to go. And that's happening more often than not. But we will get there. We will get there. Today, I think I'm going to set up to play, I don't know, maybe some Destiny 2. I haven't played that in a while. So, thank you all for your support. Thank you all for watching. And I will be back in just a few moments with Destiny 2.